Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 92. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super excited to have you here. And as you already know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming one. So this one, Monday we started with that little pullback, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we just flushed, right, without a stop, no pullbacks at all. And then actually a lot of traders were caught in those ranges created after that big push, for example, and a lot of us tried to take a reversal this week. I don't know why, but the momentum was clear, and I actually did that mistake, and in this video I'm gonna try to share a few tips with you. It's a little mistake that I did this week, and I'm finishing with a 0.5% loss this week on the euro long, which I'm gonna show you, of course. And of course we have to reflect on that, and we have to see how we could have done better. All right, so if you're new to this channel, it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday. It is your best tool to prepare for the week ahead, and of course I try to share an educational piece of content at least once per week, so make sure you are subscribed, turn the notification bell in. And before we jump onto the video, I want to share that I have been messing up with crypto, and I'm trading with Forex.com. It is an amazing broker, super low spreads and no commissions, of course. But if you choose the eco account, for each dollar of commission you pay them, they plant a tree. And I really think they are the first broker that actually introduced this initiative, and it's better for the world, and it's really nice. So make sure to check them out. Their link is down in my description. Go register, open an eco account, and make sure to help them with their amazing cause. All right, so right now it's time to jump into the market. Alright, as you know, we always start with the DXY in order to have a look how the dollar performed this week, and potentially to build a bias for the other currencies as well. So as you can see, we just opened this week and straight we started to push to the upside very strongly. Another little detail is that we opened with a gap, right? So the gap was a pullback to the downside, and then we started to strongly pump up. And as you can see, I've been calling those long since the market was down there, since we actually started breaking structure on the daily and on the 4-hourly. And what we did this week is very simple. We actually broke and retested, and right now we are continuing up, about to tap 93 handle. So actually I was calling a potential reversal from this area right there, because this is where like a very strong move started. So basically this is either a supply or just a support and resistance level. As you can see, we wicked through it, but we didn't close above, which still kind of makes me think that we might have a retracement, or at least a little push to the downside. But right now trying to kind of forecast where potentially the DXY might go. Maybe we're about to head for some of those upper regions right there. Then dropping to the daily. Okay, I have to fix my lines right there. What we saw this week again is right there, that gap to the downside. We tried to push up, we failed, and the dollar was looking kind of indecisive. And if you remember, I was looking for a retest of that area. Like we had a push, we had a pullback, the market tries to push up, fails, creates a double bottom, which was an amazing sign. But I was like, okay, I might want to see another push to the downside and then to reverse. But as you can see, on Tuesday we just started to pump up, Wednesday push, Thursday push, and then Friday we just consolidated a little bit. And potentially for the upcoming week, I will be looking for that little retracement. So how I imagine the market to develop for Monday and Tuesday, let's say I want to have one more candle of pullback, then eventually another one candle of pullback, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday we can continue to pump up if the dollar is strong. But it is really strong, so there is actually no reason for us to be looking for shorts. And if I just kind of try to plot all of those stuff everywhere so that the lines, this is our daily higher low, again make sure to mark it out. And yes, then drop into the 4-hourly time frame, you can see the gap right there. It was filled, and then we eventually start pumping to the upside without a stop, right? So this was interesting about this week, is that we just pumped and we tried to consolidate, and those are the places that a lot of us try to take a reversal. For example, right, resistance on the left, two kind of tweezer tops right there, let's sell, the market keeps up. Okay, another rejection, let's sell, the market goes up. Oh, look at that beautiful pin bar, let's sell, the market keeps going up. All right, and if you just, for example, drop to the hourly time frame, you just followed those higher lows and higher highs, you would have been fine. All right, so the DXY is perfectly bullish right now. Potentially an area for a pullback will be, of course, an area that hasn't been retested yet, which is this one around 92. All right, so as you can see, the market is starting to slow down right there. So this kind of price action is actually liquidity, all of that stuff. So eventually the market is gonna take all of this out because we have potentially buyers right there that have their stop losses below. They're gonna get taken out. We're gonna tap into a demand zone, and then from there we can actually start pumping up. So as I said, like Monday, Tuesday, eventually I want to see a little bit of a bearish price action to at least kind of pull back a little bit. Let's say to, yeah, this area is perfect into the 61.8 and 705 FIP. So definitely this will be a really nice area to go long. But of course, make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis, because what we could do is we can pump into the highs to create a higher high, then we can look for the pullback and maybe another continuation up. So nothing that we can know from Saturday. So as always, make sure for Monday to open, and then we are gonna reevaluate again. Euro dollar weekly time frame, as you can see, exactly the opposite to the DXY. We are still tapping inside this very strong demand area, but as you can see, we actually closed very bearishly below that area. Therefore, potentially the market is going to continue going down, and we are maybe in that reversal stage. So still, this is our major weekly area, right? Because we kind of pushed up, we created a higher low. The market pushed up but failed to break higher, but then we pushed inside that area again. And if you have a look, we failed to break that area, which kind of signifies that this was a strong supportive level. And since then, we strongly impulsed to the upside. So actually, if you're looking at the weekly time frame, the market will only turn bearish from the weekly once we break this structure. However, right there, we have a lot of selling. Then if we drop to the daily time frame, the market shifted the structure since a very long time ago, right? Since we were there. But again, if you keep in mind where you are on the daily and on the weekly, we know that this is the weekly push, and we know that this is the higher high. So then we try to trade the retracement. So all of this right there is actually a retracement from the weekly, if the weekly is gonna hold and then create a new higher high. All right, but as you can see, the daily has completely changed. It is perfectly bearish right now. So currently we are approaching some of those major areas, this major zone right there. So this will be the last resort for the market to really kind of try to pump up to the upside a little bit. So zooming in to see what happened this week, the market opened right there with a little pullback, and then we just straight flushed. All right, for 3 days we flushed, and then on Friday we had a little bit of a kind of a, yeah, maybe some take profits. But as you can see on the daily, we broke the most recent low right there, which confirms this to be a lower low. Therefore, our new daily lower high is this one. Again, guys, as I always say, go to the text and type daily lower high so that you know what you're looking at, something like this. And then dropping to the hourly time frame, let me first break down my trades that I took this week. So it was from around, I think around those areas. And again, as you can see, I actually broke this down on my previous outlook. I was looking for this extreme level right there. This is the last support before the big move up. Like the market consolidated, and I was thinking, okay, the market will tap inside this area, and then we're gonna pop to the upside. Then dropping to the hourly time frame again, you can see that this is the last bearish candle here before the big move up. So this is a strong demand area, and the market just taps inside. And as you can see, rejects. And actually, I took it a little bit later. Let me see. I have it right there. Just give me a second. I'm gonna share my MT4 stats as well, so you can see actually the precise entry. But yes, here it is. So basically, I saw this rejection candle right there, and if I just quickly jump on the 15-minute, you're gonna see that we had this beautiful consolidation during Asia. All right, and then this big wick, you can see that there is a big wick right there, took out the Asian lows, and I was like, okay, we had the manipulation. Right now, we are ready to go up. Then I dropped to the 5-minute time frame, and as you can see right there, like we had people tried to buy right there, they got stopped out massively. Then again, we tried to push up, but then we start failing, and then all of those people get stopped out as well. And even the people that had their stop loss below this area, they get stopped out by this wick. And then what I also saw is that on the 5-minute, we had a strong structure break. This structure, and even this one were broken by this body close. So this kind of made me confident that this market might give me a little bit of a reversal. And then actually where I took the trade was from the 1-minute. And you can see that my entry was right there, around 50% into this zone. Like the market pushed up, kind of created some choppiness. First tapped in, and I was like, okay, I might miss the trade because I saw that little reaction. But I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep my limit right there. And guys, this is one of the quickest stop losses I've ever had. It just triggered, and then it just hit stop loss. All right, but luckily I risked just 0.5% on this one, not my usual risk, because I knew that this was very risky. It was even on Frankfurt Open, not even London Open at that time. And yeah, then actually my team this week really tried too hard as well with euro dollar. And as you can see, after my loss, I kind of went a little bit too early on that one. And then all of us tried to take it long again. Like you can see, we broke structure to the upside as well. So some of us took a trade from here. and with targets to the upside as well. Then the market kind of consolidated, stopped at break even. Then some of us took a trade from this extreme right there. Again, tried to push out but failed. So euro dollar has been really tough this week. And to be honest, guys, we had a lot of short opportunities on this one. So again, my tip for you is right now, if you took a long this one this week, try to reevaluate what went wrong. Why were you looking for longs? Did you get fixated on that reversal? Why didn't we follow the structure to the downside? Because it was pretty clear. If I drop to the hourly time frame, like since then, we had this push, we had a pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, push, and then actually on Friday it was pretty messy. We could have taken some longs, but yeah. So this is basically euro dollar for this week, guys. We had this massive flush to the downside, and right now it is really tricky. Why? Because this is where the actual move starts. All right, so this is kind of the big supply area. The big sellers came from there. But as you can see, in between, we have those little pullbacks right there. So actually the most recent lower high is this one. So make sure to have those structural levels marked. And if I drop to the hourly time frame, you can see that all of that is actually consolidation. So it's not a high probability place to actually base a trade from, but if the market gets inside, if it reacts from it, if it comes back to test it and fails to break above, then if it breaks structure, then potentially I'm gonna be looking for shorts, all right, from this 4 hourly level. And if this 4 hourly level breaks, then I'm gonna turn bullish and I'm gonna try to kind of play with this market to the upside until it gets into those areas. Because even if I draw a fib, you can see that still we haven't even tapped the 38.2. So the market is maybe bound to create a little uptrend towards those high fib levels, towards the retest of structures. And then from there, we can eventually have that short, all right, the big short. So right now, I'm more buy biased on euro dollar. Again, it could be just me, again, looking for that reversal while the market is just creating lower highs right now and it can flush down. So again, I'm going to let Monday to play out. And then eventually for Tuesday, I'm going to reevaluate. I'm going to share my analysis with you. And then we're going to start crushing the markets. Euro JPY weekly time frame. So what we see right there is the market strongly pushing to the downside, but then all of a sudden we found a lot of support, and this is mainly because of UJ as well, because UJ strongly continued to the upside at, I think it was kind of a little bit later in the week. We're gonna have at UJ later, but yes, all the JPYs actually provided a very nice long opportunities, and I had a lot of people that capitalized on EJ, NJ as well, NZD/JPY. So yes, actually nothing too much to work with on the weekly. We know that this is the last structure that was broken, so eventually maybe the market is going to come and retest, but we are a little bit far away from that. Then dropping to the daily, again, it's starting to get a little bit tricky because we're getting some nice movements right there. But flicking through between the different time frames can get confusing. So therefore, I am advising you, like if you do weekly, daily, 4 hourly, hourly, 15 minutes, and then the lower, you're going to get confused. So during the week, actually guys, to be honest, I only stick to the 4 hourly, hourly, and then the lower time frames for an entry, right? I don't look at the weekly and daily because I'm an intraday trader, so I care what is happening right now. But it's always good to have at the back of your mind the overall long-term picture, all right? So this one is a little bit tricky because if we have a look at the top, we failed to break above. So we created a double top maybe on the 4 hourly. We broke structure, we pulled back lower high, and right now we have a lower low. And if you have a look at where the most recent structure is, it is right there, this one. Because we had a push, pullback, higher low, little bit of a consolidation right there, and then we created this, and then we pumped into the high. So this is the level that the market broke structure, and this is broken right now. So we are basically in a sell bias market right now, all right? Then if we go to the 4-hourly time frame, it even makes more sense. Right there, this massive fake above, then this massive break below, then we created this kind of a double top formation right there. This is an equal lower high, a very nice formation to be traded. And on the 22nd of March, we just plummeted down, all right? And then again, as you can see, the same consolidation at the bottom for people that tried to take the reversal. This one actually worked because UJ started to pump massively to the upside. So currently, how am I going to frame this trade? So this is my area right now, which is the major lower high. And the market is currently gravitating towards it. But as you can see, shorter term, we actually broke this structure. So we are currently bullish, all right, if you follow the most recent structure. So what I'm going to expect on this one to happen is maybe to give me a little pullback. I'm going to take a long, I'm going to ride it into this area, and then from there, I'm going to be looking for the market to reverse down and maybe come and revisit those weekly areas. All right, so this is my plan. It is Saturday. Like previous week, what I said on Saturday was completely invalidated on Tuesday. So yes, always make sure to flow with the market. But yes, as you can see right there, we have a double bottom, a break of structure, potentially a retest, higher low, and then eventually to come into this very strong supply area, and from there we can actually sell the market. All right, even if I drop on the hourly time frame, we have a nice impulse, we can have a nice corrective price action towards that area, and then once we get in there, I'm gonna start looking for sales and potentially targeting a new daily lower low. Because as you can see right now, we have a push, daily lower low, right now potentially creating a lower high, but I still think we can have one more day of a bullish push, and then from there we can start to sell off. So guys, this is my plan on EJ, shorter term longs from that area and then taking a short from this one. So let's see if it's gonna happen. All right, next on the list are the Aussie. So on Aussie USD weekly time frame, what do we have right there is kind of a little bit of a head and shoulders on the weekly time frame, which indicates a potential reversal. So where am I eventually looking for this market to revisit is this very strong demand, weekly demand right there around 71 and 72. So this is a 100 pip range. But this is where you can see the market pushed, consolidated, and then all of a sudden we have been trading up for quite some time. So there were a lot of buyers that came from here and they sustained the market until it reached 0.80. All right. So this is where the real leg started. And then again, whatever happens in between will eventually be a weekly pullback, but we are going to keep taking shorts. So again, it's very important to know the overall picture. So what happened on this one right now, we opened right there 22nd of March, kind of the market rejected a little bit, which showed us that maybe it wants to pop up a little bit. And I was looking for the market maybe to reach out the highs right there, but as you can see, it kind of respected this left shoulder right there, and then we strongly pushed into the downside. And this is actually Tuesday and Wednesday. We had bearish price action, consolidation on Thursday, and then we had that little profit taking day on Wednesday, on Friday. But as you can see right now, like our major actually lower high is this little candle. This is the market kind of lastly finding support before the big move down. So this is basically our daily lower high, and as you can see, we have broken this structure with this daily push. So we have officially have a lower low. Then dropping down to the 4-hourly time frame, actually I would like to break down my trade that I was looking at this week. Let me see where it actually was. I'm not sure. I think I looked at this extreme right there as well, like to try to take a trade from this level. Let me just mark it something like this. Then dropping actually to the 15-minute. Let me show you group 1. Oh yeah, it was even before that. All right. So again, you can see strong pressure to the downside. So why do you look for longs? Why don't you take shorts from there? All right, but as you can see, the market strongly pushing to the downside. Then it showed us a little bit of a push to the upside, and again, I was fixated on catching that reversal. And as you can see right there, we had that break of structure, like we had the strong introduction of pressure, and the market was actually opening. So I thought we're gonna have a little pump to the upside before we actually continue. Because if I delete, yeah, it's actually deleted. If I go to the hourly, like look at that big push to the downside. And it rejected again, and I was like, yes, we are gonna have a little bit of a pullback, maybe to revisit those areas, to retest those areas, and I'm gonna take kind of a retracement. I'm gonna ride it into those highs right there, and then to potentially take a short. So that was my thought process, and as you can see, this was my entry right there. Like the market broke structure, this was the extreme level. This is how I've been working on my trading to actually get tighter entries and very small stop losses. And as you can see, I'm gonna share the MT4 picture right there. This was my entry right there, and it tapped on MT4, it tapped on TradingView, but it didn't execute me. So this was spread probably and broker issues. And then what I did is, like, I saw the market push up, pull back, push up, fail to break above, and I was like, okay, do I keep my order or do I remove it? But at the same time, I saw that massive flush on EU. I saw NZDs start to flush, and I'm like, no, I don't want to stay into this. And very luckily, I removed my order, and it actually, if I kept it, it would have been taken me with another stop loss. And yeah, this is basically another trade that I wanted to take, but unfortunately did not get executed on. So going back into the market right now, as I said, we're in a daily push. This is a daily lower low. So eventually we are expecting the market to correct, to create a daily lower high, and then to eventually start pumping down. And as you can see on the 4-hourly time frame, this is our major structure. We have nothing in between. The market just plummeted to the downside. Then, yes, we have some of those like little pullback. This is a beautiful short opportunity right there. Pullback, this is a 2.0 strategy that we trade, push to the downside, pull back again, push to the downside, but then all of those structures actually got broken right there. So currently longs will actually make more sense to me until we get into those high levels on the daily time frame before actually taking a big short, because right now institutions, this is a low price for them to sell, so they're gonna try to drive price higher in order to sell high and then eventually to buy it back lower. All right, so right now the market is kind of breaking structure, and for specific levels that we can actually monitor, this is our lowest point. So eventually, like, we can have a little bit of a pullback on market open, and then we can start pumping up. So shorter term longs on Aussie, and then eventually longer term shorts if we pull back into those areas. But of course, I'm gonna give Monday some time to reevaluate, because what the market could do is it can just reverse from there, create a lower low, and then of course my bias will entirely change and I'm gonna start taking shorts. All right, so again guys, a big tip, stay with the momentum. Whatever the market does, do it as well. Daily time frame on AJ, similar situation, but not entirely perfect, because this is a very strong level right there, which hasn't been broken yet. Strong push to the downside right now, a strong push to the upside. This is influenced, that strong push up is influenced by UJ, which we're gonna see soon. And yeah, overall, this is the major area that the market just plummeted towards the downside. We consolidated at the bottom, and right now we strongly pushed into the highs. So very similar thing that I'm going to be looking for right there is for a little bit of a correction to retest that structure, then to maybe tap me into this very strong supply area, and then from there maybe we can start to look for shorts. All right, so this is not forecast, this is just planning for whatever could happen. I don't usually forecast. If whatever I see in the morning, this is what I'm going to trade. It's something that few traders actually understand, is that you just have to flow with the market and you have to trade what you see. This is a little bit cliche, but yes, it is really right, because you have to trade what you see and not what you think. So if I think right now that the market is gonna sell off from here, but the market is perfectly trending to the upside, then I'm gonna be wrong at the end. All right, so whatever happens on Monday, make sure to follow it, make sure to have your analysis in place, make sure to every single day try to kind of predict, make a planning, and then execute on your plan. So currently the structure that could be retested is this one, of course. So if the market gets inside, I'm gonna look for longs, then I'm gonna look for shorts from right there if the market pushes, and then eventually to make a big weekly and daily lower low. So that's my plan on the Aussies. Let's see what's gonna happen, and let's have a look at the NZDs. Let's have a quick look at the NZDs. As you can see, a massive bearish candle right there on the weekly after a lot of weeks of consolidation. So as you can see, since like 84 days, this market has been consolidating. Then we had this huge wick right there that really indicated a lot of sellers came in. Then we consolidated for another 3 weeks right there, and we are finally starting to break below. All right, so we're finally starting to see some movements, and I definitely think for swing traders, this will be really amazing. This is my weekly demand. This is where the real move started, 0.67 as well. So potentially the market is going to gravitate towards that area. And then from there, maybe we're going to have another high, because you can see overall this market is bullish. We have a push, we have a pullback, we have a push, we have a pullback. And then maybe potentially we're going to start targeting the highs as well. But right now we are bearish. But again, we always keep in mind the weekly areas. Then dropping on the daily. As you can see, big consolidation right there, beautiful fake above, beautiful breakdown, break of daily structure. And then I don't remember what I was looking at for not taking a short on this one. Maybe a deeper pullback, as always. The market pushed lower, pulled back right there, consolidated for a bit. And then, yeah, no, as you can see, just on the 22nd of March, we consolidated. So it was very tricky. And then just on Tuesday, we snapped. Like, we just exploded down. So it was really hard to actually catch an opportunity on this one. But yes, currently if I actually mark something, it's gonna be this kind of zone right there, which is our daily lower high. Then dropping to the hourly, yes, you can see that kind of the same price action as the Aussie. Like, we had this big push pullback. It kind of failed to break below this area. We actually broke. Then you have this extreme level right there. This is which introduced another bullish push. So possibly you could have looked for longs right there, but I was focused on AU. It looked better. But yes, as you can see, this one just started to massively flush to the downside. So massive sell on this one. And then as you can see, like from the 24th, this is Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday, we pretty much chopped around at the bottom right there. So this market needs a pullback. All right, it definitely needs a pullback to revisit some of those areas right there, not to say the daily lower high as well. So on the 4 hourly time frame, if we zoom in, we have something like that. Yes, because this push to the downside actually broke structure, so this makes this our major lower high, and it was actually broken, which is very nice. So right now, what we could expect on NU is for a little bit of a pullback, but I really want to wait on it. I want to wait on it to see a confirmed higher low and then maybe another break of structure, and then to potentially start taking longs. Because what could happen right now is the market can just create a lower high anytime of that bearish push and just continue to break down, right? So right now on the hourly time frame, we are pretty much in a consolidation. You can see we consolidated, we created a lower low, and right now we're pretty much ranging inside that area. So definitely if I take something on NU, I am waiting for some more clear price action, but eventually guys, I want to take a long, which is going to be a retracement trade, and eventually targeting those retest areas right there to take then a big short that is going to be funded by institutions and potentially is going to be big as this one, because a lot of sellers came in from this area right there. So eventually if it comes back, is it going to come back next week or the next one? Probably not, because anything can happen. The market can just pull back 50% of this move or even 38.2 and then just plummet down. All right. So again, as I keep saying, even if the market kind of pushes a little bit up, then if it starts to fail to break, creates double tops, break structure, retest, lower high formation, break structure, you should start taking shorts. All right, because the market shows you that it is less likely to revisit some of those upper areas. So again, guys, it all comes to see what the market has for us for next week and then adapting to it. Right now, I'm kind of favoring more longs because it's really extended, but who knows, if everybody looks for longs right now, then the market is going to go short. So I am just looking for the signs, which are not here right now. It's overall pretty messy and consolidative. So let's wait for Monday. And yeah, pretty same price action on NJ, massive pump to the downside on the daily, break of structure, and the last kind of demand area is right there, or supply I should say. And yes, as you can see right there, influenced by the JPY, we have a clear break of structure. So definitely on this one, a pullback towards that structure will be really nice. Confirmed higher low formation, eventually to drive us higher. And then from there, we can actually look for the market to create a lower low. And yes, then to create a downtrend. All right. So this is my planning on NJ. I'm going to be looking for a pullback early week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, and then to eventually take a long, which is a retracement trade on the daily, because on the daily we actually need a pullback for a lower high to eventually continue going lower. And then yes, on the weekly time frame we can eventually reach for this, which is our actually higher low, all right, on the weekly. So this is my plan on the NZDs. NZD/USD not very clear. NZD/JPY is showing us that bullishness, so let's see if it's gonna have a retest, continuation, and then potentially on NU some more clear bullish bias, maybe to create a higher high, then a pullback, and then eventually we can try to long the NZDs. Let's have a look at some USD, starting with UJ. As you can see, another very bullish weekly engulfing candle. All right, so why is this happening, guys? Because everybody right now is looking for the shorts, and as you can see, the market keeps climbing up. We created that little daily higher low right there that wasn't broken, and if you check actually my previous outlook, I was calling this sort of a level right there, something like this, and I said have a look at all of that consolidation right there. So this is gonna get taken, and actually had a level at 109,500 where I actually thought the market might reverse. All right, so again, I was fixated on looking for that reversal, and I did not execute on that long. Right, so this is very, very, very wrong, because this could have been an amazing long. If I drop to the hourly time frame, have a look, downtrend, break of structure. This is the first confirmed break of structure that broke this, and even this. Have a look at the retest of this area right there, and even if you drop to the 15 and the 5 minute, you are gonna find your entries right there. Downtrend, break, retest, potentially here, and then the market just continued to push higher. So again, another mistake from my side is being fixated on taking a short on UJ, but not taking the long. For example, if I knew that the market is gonna reach 109,500, but I did not take the long towards it. All right, so that was a mistake from my side, but currently the market is just massively pumping up. It is really high, right? Don't get me wrong, it is really high right now, but it is just trending up, so we should be taking longs as long as it pushes up. Well, structure, it is really hard to find. This is the only bearish candle that was formed, so this can potentially be structure. If you drop to the hourly, like, yeah, we have this is not structure, this is just a slowdown, and so eventually the market is gonna gravitate towards that area, and then if there is actually any demand left right there, maybe we're gonna start pumping up. But currently UJ is completely bullish, and this is why all the JPYs are actually trending up. So if I am to take a long trade on this one, I'm gonna be looking for a pullback, And my best entry opportunity will be down there eventually at the extremes. But if the market pulls back right there, shows me, let's say 1 or 2 4-hourly candles, then the hourly behavior changes, we have a break of structure, retest on the 50-minute, then eventually I can take it long from there as well. All right. So UJ, buy bias. Currently, we have to wait for a pullback. Where can the pullback occur? We don't know. And this is why we have our rules. And if we have the rules set, if we have the criteria for a potential higher low to be formed, then we have to execute. If we get stopped out, that means that we just didn't have the higher low right there. And maybe we're going to look at the lower levels right there. So UJ, buy bias. Let's wait for the pullback. USD CAD weekly time frame. I haven't traded this pair for a long time and it's actually not on my watch list, but as you can see, like if you have a look on the left from 2017, this is the bottom of the market. We broke structure to the upside, we pulled back, and since then the market hasn't been down there. All right, it's just created an uptrend. And just like previous week, we tapped inside that area. So this is really major and we can start expecting some bullishness on UCAD. And with the dollar being so strong, I wonder why is this not reversing yet? Because you can see on the daily time frame, we are extremely bearish. Beautiful downtrend. And if I try to spot our last lower high on the daily, it is this big area right there, because those are all the wicks, the lower highs, massive pump below that created a lower low. So currently actually confirmed reversal will be a break of that area, which is 27,500. But then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see what we have right there. Is that beautiful fake to the downside that actually tapped inside that weekly area on the left. And since then we've been beautifully trending to the up. Well, yeah, not beautifully, this is a little bit too much, but yes, if we just have a look at it, like we have a higher low right there, we have a higher low right there that actually retested this one, and then we have a big wick right there, which is not nice. But currently the last structure is this one, so those are not actually needed. But yes, as you can see, we had a higher high. We actually currently sitting at a higher low, so eventually this market might continue to push up. But just have a look at this structure right there. It is really not nice, and we do not know what to expect when the market gets in there. So again, as I told you, a break and close above will indicate a reversal on the daily. But right now on the 4-hourly, it just looks like an uptrend, but we could be creating the lower high from the daily. All right, so keep that in mind. And I just want to see again how the market is going to react between those two areas. So this is my low, this is my high. Again, we can take a long if the market gets inside right there. If it shows us support, we can take a long. We take profits at the high. If the market closes above that area, then we can look for pullbacks again and eventually to take the markets up. But personally, again, as I always do, I'm just waiting for Monday to open to show me where it wants to go, because what we can do is we can just break below that structure. All right, and this will indicate sellers. Then we're going to pull back, lower high, and we're going to take a sell. All right, so again, we never know what's going to happen, but what I'm going to advise you is to have those two levels and just see how the market is going to behave in between them, because those are our major high, major high low. If the market breaks the high, that indicates buyers. If we break the high low, that indicates reversal. So therefore, let's wait. Again, another opportunity could be a tap inside that area, support, and then to potentially take a long. So let's see. The same story with USD Swiss. 2 weeks of consolidation right there, bearish candles, indecision dojis, whatever you like to call them, and potentially we are expecting that pullback. And don't get me wrong, I did expect that pullback to potentially revisit that area, but as you can see, the market just keeps creating new hard highs. Dropping to the daily time frame, we actually had this very strong supportive level right there that the market did not break below. Like, yeah, this was actually the last one. If I'm precise, the market pushed up, failed to break, and then we had 3 days of massive bullishness that actually confirmed a higher high. So our major high low right now is this one. So as long as the market trades above it, we are bullish on the daily. And then yes, dropping on the 4-hourly, you can see that this is our like extreme level right there, but I will not take a long from there because the market will completely reverse until it gets there. But yes, as you can see, very recently we created those wicks right there. So currently this market is entirely bullish. Don't get me wrong, it has to come down there because this is a lot of illiquid market right there. So it has to get rebalanced, right? So eventually the market can pull back right there. It can give us a little long opportunity. Maybe then it's going to create a double top. And then we're gonna potentially gravitate towards those areas before taking a bigger long. But currently, I don't like pretty much this one because it's a little bit too high again. And I would say that I would definitely expect a little bit of a daily pullback. Because if I drop on that daily move, like this pullback right there is not even a 38.2. But currently the market is starting to change. We're having Q2 entering the market. So potentially we're gonna have some of those quick pullbacks. All right, so definitely what you can also do is you can have this structure as a retest area and then to potentially try to look for longs from there. All right, guys, so I personally think we have to adapt a little bit right now because we're not stuck in the range right now, but we're having some clear moves across all the marketplace. So definitely we should start changing our strategies a little bit and not look for those extreme levels, but just to look for the pullbacks, higher lows, and then to potentially continue with the market. So my take on USD Swiss franc is longs. I'm going to be looking for the market to pull back anywhere in between those two levels and then to potentially take it higher. All right, let's have a look at the GBPs. As always, starting with GU on the weekly time frame, we are having a nice wick. So this wick is more than 50% of the whole body. That indicates that there was a lot of buyers entering from this area, which if we kind of look on the left, it is some sort of a retest area, right? But definitely we can start seeing some downside on GU as well, because if you drop on the daily time frame, we are bearish from the daily. However, something that will make it hard for GU to right now to reverse is this level right there. Because if you have a look, like we had this consolidation, and all of a sudden a huge move to the upside, right? We have some structure in between right there, but this is where the real move started. So this indicates that potentially this can be a strong demand area. And as you can see, the market taps inside it and we're already seeing some rebound. However, we made a daily lower low, and this can just be a cause for the market to create a lower high and then to potentially start reversing down. So possibly we can have something like this on GU for next week, meaning shorts. Dropping to the quality time frame, personally, I did not trade GU this week. There was a short opportunity right there that I didn't take because I was still thinking that the market is gonna reverse up, but I didn't execute on that short right there. So this was basically the best opportunity right there to ride it to the downside. So I really hope actually some of you managed to catch some of those big pushes that we had on Tuesday, right, and even Wednesday. Then the market taps inside that area and starts to consolidate, which was really nice. So it actually took 2 days of that consolidation, and just on the 26th of March on Friday, we actually broke that structure to the upside, and then we had that little bullish move. And there was a little trade that my team actually took. It was this one, this long right there, because you can see the market is trending up. We had that fake, which happens at Frankfurt Open. Then we had the break that confirms the buyers. And actually then we had that little consolidation right there, a head and shoulders, which is actually a little trap because everybody's going to be looking to sell from here, but actually we are buying from there and taking our profits from the highs. But I didn't take this because it was Friday and kind of not late Friday, it was 1 o'clock for me. So I'm usually trading at that time. But on Friday, if I'm having a losing week, I would usually skip Friday because I don't want to make it worse. But right now, what could happen? So eventually, again, guys, you know that this is our lower high on the daily and on the hourly time frame. So eventually the market is going to gravitate towards that area before taking a big short. So right now the question is, are we going to go straight from that area or are we going to start pulling back right now into market open to potentially take a long from some of those areas? So GU currently, guys, it's not, I didn't like the price action of it except from right there at the beginning and this short right there. Then it got really messy and really compressed. So I'm not a big fan of GU right now, which is usually one of my favorite pairs after EU. But yes, right now I'm going to give it some time to eventually, as the other pairs, to pull back, to create a higher low, take it into the highs, into this area, then look for shorts, and then make something like this. Because I personally think maybe GU is going to go down with a strong dollar. We're definitely going to see some downside on GU. But again, we have to wait for the best place to sell. Could be right there, but I think that we might revisit the extremes right there and then take a short from there. All right. So currently shorter term longs if the market pulls back, and then longer term shorts if we actually get inside that area there. Then going to GJ. Yeah, you can see that this is really, really, really strong. Going to the weekly time frame, we have a very big wick right there and actually a bullish close. And as you can see, this pair is really extended. We have been pushing up for quite a lot of time without a single bearish candle, and then we had that bearish candle. So everybody thinks that the market is reversing, but nope. It tried to reverse, but then it failed. So actually, yes, are we in a reversal phase right now? Not really, because even if I look on the daily time frame, yeah, this is, I don't want to take a big wick like this, but this is the daily higher low. We pushed up, we pulled back, and since then we have this leg to the upside. We consolidate a little bit on the top, but I don't consider this to be structure. This is just a pause, strongly pushing to the downside, but then strongly impulsing to the upside. So currently, this is our daily high. So as long as the market kind of finds resistance from it, we can look for the shorts. All right, but a lot of things can happen in between. As you can see, there is that similar area that we have on GU, but GJ already tapped it and showed that it actually broke it. So maybe GU is actually going to continue even higher than that. But this market needs a pullback right now on the 4-hourly. So what we can do is we can wait for that pullback and then take a long targeting this daily resistance. And then from there, we have to reevaluate if the market is going to actually find resistance or break it with a candle close above. All right. Potentially areas for longs. Well, of course, it would be really nice to see the market revisit that structure. That was actually the structure that was broken and hasn't been retested. But of course, the market can just create a little pullback, something like this, around 50%, and it can just continue to push higher. So again, guys, the market is getting really impulsive. We have to be very careful. We have to wait for those quick pullbacks. And if the market shows the signs again, we have to go, for example, long, targeting the highs right there around, let's say 152. 152, you can see this is the area that actually the market respected. And then from there, we can maybe start taking the shorts. So very tricky situation. As you can see, GU hasn't reached that area yet. GJ actually reached it and broke it. So definitely on both of the pairs, I'm going to be looking for a little bit of a selling pullback at first, and then maybe to take a long. GA, it's a completely different story. So this is not a pair that I trade, guys. It does not move as I wanted, as I usually love the market to do. And yeah, even if I just jump on the 4-hourly time frame, I haven't backtested this pair. I'm not sure how it works. Strong push below, that looks like a lower low, pullback, lower high. We tried to sell, we failed to sell, it fails to break below, then it breaks above, and then we start taking buys. So basically a buy from here, buy from here, buy from here, and then maybe we have another buy from there. So currently this market is bullish, as I just broke it on the 4-hourly time frame. Our major structure is this one. This is our major hard low. We had a massive pump up, we have a pullback, the market is already rejecting. Therefore, we can consult with the hourly time frame. And yeah, we can see that the hourly is creating a double bottom, but I would never take a trade like this on market open. So I would never take a long right there, because definitely the market can do a lot of stuff. All right. So personally, GA is a really confusing pair for me. And yeah, but overall, I'm going to be looking for longs. Maybe the market can pull back a little bit deeper inside this one to create at least 1 or 2 4-hourly candles to show support. And then eventually we can look for the longs, because currently the market looks pretty much long. All right, if I drop on the daily, even the daily looks like longs because it broke the structure on the left. So basically this turns into our major daily low, higher low. So make sure to mark it, daily higher low. And then as long as the market trades above this, we should be bullish. All right, so that's my take on GA. It's not a pair that I trade, guys. Let me know what you think of it. I know a lot of people are actually masters of GA and on Euro GBP, which is another pair that I don't want to touch at all. Like, yeah, big move up, big move down, consolidation. Then we tried to push up, but do we actually break this level? Not really. As you can see, we did not break with a body close above. We just wicked through, final wick through, and then we just dropped to the downside, all right? But again, where are we right now? Into support. Are we breaking the support? Not really. And what is the conclusion of this? Is that we're currently trading in a consolidation. All right. So a lot of selling pressure right now, tapping into support. That means that we should have a little bit of a pullback. All right, something like this, which means that on GU as well, we should have a little bit of a bearish pullback, and then eventually to go with the trend. So as you can see, guys, the GBPs are not entirely clear right now, so definitely I'm gonna give some time, especially to GU, because it's usually one of my most profitable pairs, but I haven't taken a trade on it. I'm not sure since when, right? So definitely we have to wait a little bit to see some clear price action and then to potentially strike. Q2 is coming to an open, so hopefully we are gonna see some nice moves. Same analysis on gold as the previous week. We're still sitting in that very strong area of 1700s and we are reacting from it, right? But actually this week, if I just jump on the daily time frame, we did not have any moves at all. Like 22nd opened, indecision, bearish candle, indecision, indecision, indecision. All right, pretty much moving within the range of what is it, 250 pips or 25 pips. I'm not sure how gold works because I'm not trading gold as well. And I am not shy to admit that I'm scared of gold. But yes, as you can see, same analysis remains. We're building up this big consolidation. So potentially the market is awaiting for something. All right. And this is where the market was sold off and then strongly bought. So this indicates that again, from 1700s, it is a very delicate level. So if the market pushes inside this one, then eventually I'm going to be looking for longs, and of course I'm going to drop to the hourly time frame to wait for the shift. But yes, as you can see this week, pretty much we have a consolidation. So yes, if you're trading gold, possibly on the 15-minute, you can have some intraday moves, but personally I don't see anything. It's rather tricky and choppy for me. Therefore guys, let's wait for the market to get inside a very nice area, and this one will actually look pretty good. We have a break, a high consolidation. Potentially we can manipulate below to trick sellers, right? Because if we break this structure, sellers are gonna get tricked. They're gonna look for the retest as well, so we can have a little reaction and everybody's gonna get trapped, right, eventually. So let's see. I'm looking for something like that on gold. Let me know what you think of gold in the comments. And wrapping up the videos with some indices. So US30, another bullish week on this one, almost about to create new equity highs. So very nice. And we had a couple of bearish days right there. As you can see on the 22nd, kind of respected bearish day, indecision, huge spike to the downside to gather liquidity, and since then we are impulsing to the upside. So we can actually say that the market has broken structure officially on the hourly, because at the time we looked a little bit bearish. But I always advise you guys, be careful going short on those indices if we're not having a crash, right? Because shorts are usually very short-lived, and the longs are actually the ones that are really working out. So right now we're having a very beautiful break above. Let's see if it's going to continue to make a high to break this structure, eventually then create another pullback, and then to continue pushing higher. Unfortunately, I wanted to see a little bit of a deeper pullback in order to put some money into stocks again, but I actually nailed a very nice trade this month, so I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, NASDAQ overall looks a little bit bearish. Yeah, because you can see from here we broke this structure, we pulled back. This is a lower high, this is a lower low that failed to break this wick. All right, so we still have some sort of a 50-50, and we have this sort of a range. All right, so I'm going to be looking for the market to push inside that area to see how it reacts. We can have a reaction, but eventually I'm going to be looking for the break. All right, because it looks strong. It's overall kind of starting to shift to the upside as well. But yeah, it's as well having some sellers on NASDAQ. And if I drop on the daily, you can actually see that on the daily we're sitting at a lower low, and this could be a daily lower high, because actually the most recent daily lower high is this one, because this is the one that broke structure. This is the current daily lower high that is being formed, but is not confirmed, because from here we did not have a lower low, right? So basically the market is showing us that it fails to break below, which could be a sign that we maybe are about to break this daily lower high and then to eventually start reversing up. So pretty tricky situation for NASDAQ, so make sure that you are careful when trading it. And yes, S&P did not pull back enough for me to put some money inside. Like, this is just 3%. It is a nice pullback, right? This is just a normal pullback, but if I'm putting money, like, I would like to see a little bit more, like at least 8% is the ideal, maybe 6, because you can see like the average is around 5. This was a nice drop right there. Again, 9. This is where I'm buying, right? Moves like this, but this does not happen often and we have to wait for it. But if it happens soon, definitely we have to put some money. And then dropping on the hourly time frame, similar to US30, this has broken the structure, so this is strong. It is confirmed to go long eventually, and maybe we're gonna look to create new equity highs this week. So let's see, stocks are doing good. Alright guys, so this is how I'm gonna wrap up this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found something valuable from it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe of course, and leave me a comment. Even a simple thanks always means a lot to me. I wish you a relaxing weekend, recharge, and I wish you a really successful week next one. Make sure to stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis on Telegram. If you haven't joined there, link will be in the description. And yeah, can't wait to see you on Tuesday and hopefully have another amazing week.